Good evening, and welcome back to the Poe Museum. I appear to have spent a little bit too much time in the archives this week, so while I try to extricate myself from this situation, why don't I show you a little bit of something I've dug up from the collections on tonight's installment of the Curator's Crypt. So right around the corner in the death room is one of the Poe Museum's most popular pieces. So here it is, Edgar Allan Poe's walking stick, the one that he left in Richmond on his last night in the city. It's got his name right down there on the tip. This is the one that he carried with him habitually. People said that he liked to twirl his walking stick as he was walking down the street. It had a little leather strap that would have come out this hole right here to go around his wrist. The other end has a little metal piece right here to protect the walking stick in case he's walking on a dirt road or muddy conditions in the rain or something. This helps protect it just a little bit. And this is one of the stars of the Poe Museum's collection. We've had it since 1923 on loan, and eventually the museum was able to buy it. And it has a story of its own. Poe was visiting Elmira Shelton his last night in town. He was about to marry her, but he had a business trip to Philadelphia, followed by a trip to New York, after which he was going to return to Richmond. She thought he was very sick, had a fever. She said his pulse was weak. So he went down the hill to his friend, John Carter, who happened to be a doctor. And Poe liked to spend time at Carter's house, discuss the day. It's also a stopping off point between Elmira's house and Poe's hotel. And when Poe left, Carter said that he was playing Carter's really fine Malacca sword cane. He walked out carrying the sword cane and left his own walking stick at Carter's house. And just a couple weeks later, when Poe died, Carter was sure to get back his Malacca cane, but he never returned Poe's walking stick. It became really the prize of his collection. The first mention we have of this in writing is really about 1878, 29 years after Poe's death, when Poe's acquaintance Susan Archer Talley Weiss wrote an article about Poe's last visit to Richmond, and he told pretty much the same story I did, that Poe left at Dr. Carter's house. Dr. Carter wrote his own article, Poe's Last Night in Richmond, in 1902. He's still alive at that time, and he told the same story. So this was pretty well known, appeared in the different Poe biographies, and people wondered, why did he leave his walking stick? Was he starting to lose his mind? Was he ill? Was he not thinking straight? Or maybe he wanted to take Dr. Carter's sword cane with him because he was going to be going through Baltimore. Or maybe Philadelphia, the last time he was there, he thought people there were trying to kill him, so maybe he was trying to protect himself. We're not really sure. But this stayed in Carter's collection the rest of his life, went to his heirs, to their heirs, and eventually came to the Poe Museum. And from early on, this attracted a lot of attention. It's even appeared in novels like The Poe Shadow by Matthew Pearl, mentions Poe's walking stick and how he mixed it up with that Malacca cane. In 1957, it was the 350th anniversary of the founding of Jamestown, and they had a huge celebration out in Jamestown. They wanted to get important artifacts from all over the Commonwealth of Virginia, and the Jamestown people chose to bring this walking stick and put on display at the Jamestown 350th anniversary exhibit. Eventually, though, the museum got it back. But this was visited during that by the Queen of England. She actually had a chance to see this walking stick. We don't know what she said. Later, this traveled to Prague in a Poe festival in Prague in 1999, and the president of the Poe Museum at that time personally carried this on the airplane with him, wouldn't let it leave his sight. And of course it came back here and it's been on display ever since. Occasionally it takes trips. It was on display at the Grolier Club a few years back. But when people come here, they realize this is something that Poe owned, that he personally held, and it might just be a clue to his untimely death. And you're one of the lucky ones who's gotten to see it outside of its case. Well, thanks for joining us this week. And if you'd like to help us preserve some of these priceless Poe pieces, why not become a patron and support the Poe Museum at patreon.com/Poe Museum. And as a way of thanking you for joining us tonight, I leave you with tonight's gratuitous footage of the Poe Museum cats.